gold change in my pocket going jing-a-ling-a-ling. That's the song in my head today. Anyways, I'm gonna do 3 different things. I've got my Chinese mobility warm-up that I'm gonna do. Then I'm gonna do a 10-minute stretch, and then I'm on my vibration plate for 5 minutes, and then I have got to get my thick A crooked letter into the office because I've got to finish a 2,500 word paper today to turn in to a magazine. Christy, you are on it, girl. I see that she's my first person to tune in. I've got to finish up that 2,500 word article today, and because it's got to be submitted tomorrow, and I have a podcast interview to do today. So I put my glucose reader back on just because we're done with the long freaking vacation, done with the two freaking Thanksgivings. We're done with that. So I'm back on it. All right, so here we go. This is going to be set at 1.5 minutes, and they'll go off, and then I'll just keep on pushing start again. Today is my reflection day, so I thought that I would be active while I went through my Sunday reflections. Okay. All right, so here's the biggest thing is, I went to Thanksgiving, and my family, we have kind of struggled with being close, and everybody's saying good morning. And so I ended up going to Thanksgiving. On the actual Thanksgiving was at my friend's house, and then I had one at my family's house. Well, I haven't been around my father in a few years, and I look just like him, except for he's bigger. We are very barrel-y, right? And he doesn't understand that if I've got that MTHFR gene, then he most definitely does too. But, man, I got to see him. I got to see a lot of my family members, and a lot of them look so much more aged than what they should. And then I looked younger, and my bigness is more compact than a lot of other people's bignesses, okay? So it just made me realize that even though I might not be where I want to be, I know that I'm like light years ahead of other people that aren't doing this stuff, okay? Then my father, he's like really immobile right now. He's having to sleep in the chair. He's having some trouble breathing, has some discoloration of his lower legs and stuff. It's just not a picture of health, right? Well, my genetics, okay, so I had a friend say this before, that genetics is like the gun, but your nutrition and your health choices are the ammo, okay? So even though I have some genetics working against me, I don't need to work against me also. So it was just a big slap right in the face of like, girl, you better handle your business, So that's a big reflection. Another big epiphany that I had, and this came to me yesterday, and I acted on it. My husband and I have this competition series called Country Tough Trail Versatility. And, I love what it does for the horse community. I love what it does for horses. It's a combination with 3 things. And this will relate to anybody else also, not just me. It is a ranch horsemanship pattern. So they have transitions they have to do, and it's just honest, pure horsemanship. Then there's trail riding, but then we have the judges out on the trail and they do maneuvers out in the woods. So that's like taking their arena work and putting it into to use. And then we have obstacles, but you don't get points for speed. So I'm trying to, it's trail versatility, right? Without emphasis on speed, which is more like what things really need to be right now. Okay, I don't remember. I did this one. I did that one. Oh, okay, I remember the next one. Well, our stuff here is just full, but I've always wanted to make that association much larger and grow. And but I've never taken those steps towards it. I always kind of like thought that if people wanted to host it, they would come to me. Well, I've decided I need to be active about finding these hosts. I only put one post up about it, and I've had 3 people contact me, and I just had to change the rules a little bit so I wouldn't be standing in my own way of growth. I have a friend, he had talked about how these horse competition organizations need to be set up as a, I don't know if it's non-profit or not-for-profit, need to be set up that way so I can get larger companies to donate things because they can use it as a tax write-off. Somebody just said good morning. Good morning. So I'm going to look into that. But I never have because I'm like, no, we're for profit. But I know that we have a couple of LLCs and I think I could transform one over to that. So I don't know. Okay, there was another one. Oh yeah, it's the leaning back one. So these are my Chinese warm-up drills that are supposed to keep you mobile. So we'll see. All right. Okay, so this one was lean back, go forward. So I have been trying to get hired by this other association to help them do exactly what I need to be doing with my own dang association. So, you know what? Just the fact of bending over and touching my toes, you know how many people can't do that? Oh, boy, this right here feels good like a mofo. Oh, I still got that song in my head about don't feed me no lines and keep your hands to yourself. So, the magazine that I'm writing for, I've got to turn that article in by tomorrow, and I've got it all ready to just bring it all together and finalize it today. But hey, I'll tell you, this is super freaking cool about how I got this person that I'm interviewing today for my podcast was my lower back. Ow. This scammer reached out and said they were this other person. So I did research on it, right, to see if it actually was that person. It was not. But I contacted that person, and then I sent them a copy of the email that this freaking scammer had sent me, and was just like, hey, here's what it looks like when you're being scammed, right? People are saying that you're trying to get on podcast. And then I was just like, it made me look you up, and you're freaking cool. And if you ever wanted to do a podcast interview, and then I sent him some pictures of me doing mounted archery and stuff. And this dude is like, I think he's in Washington, D.C. And he actually writes, speeches for politicians, and he also writes speeches for celebrities. I don't know. I just thought it'd be kind of cool to interview him, you know, to find some behind the scenes about who's quirky and who's not. And so that's who I'm going to interview today. I've just got to make sure I get my time zones right. But we have been trying like 3 or 4 different times to freaking make this interview happen. So I don't know. I just thought it was, like, how cool is that I reached out to him and was like, dude, here's how people are using your name. And then him be like, whoa, you're cool. And I'm like, you're cool. So we're going to meet today through a podcast interview. But, all right, I'm going to stretch now. So I'm going to get this thing. I'm going to move y'all down a little bit because I feel like you might not be able to hear me well if I keep it up on, I have you on a bench. Oh, well, there's my boobs. Okay. Okay, let me push start on this. All right, 10-minute stretch. You can't tell, it's backwards. Boy, I feel like with the month of December, oh my Lord, this feels so good. Jeez Louise. Well, I knew I'm about to be in the seat for a little bit, so I just really wanted to make sure and get to stretching some. But with the month of December, I have, I think I have 2 holiday meals that we've got to do. But then other than that, I should be able to be on track. And I made my husband a wager if I could get down to 308.9. Okay, so it just had to, I just want to weigh in below 309 because it'll be the lowest I've been all year. So I made him a wager and I'm on it. And he even said, man, I'm going to have to pay up. And you know when I wagered him, it's actually for his own good. You know, I have difficulty showing up for my own self, but I'll show up for other people. So I told him that if I got down to my lowest, that he had to go a month without pop. So, and he said he would do it. And my husband has got a little addiction issue with pop. And as much as I've been reading about all this, you know, health stuff lately, man, he's just poisoning himself. And he has so many issues already with like his, whenever he had his gallbladder taken out and, you know, just some stomach issues. I think if he could break the barrier of getting done with that stuff, that he would just enjoy the health so much more. And he knows how much I have struggled with my weight. And, but remember, genetics is the gun, but your own decisions, your like nutrition and your exercise and my sleeping and getting, you know, like I know that I have that MTHFR, but then making sure that I'm avoiding commercially milled flour. Like that's the ammo to longevity. Oh Lord, my lower back. When we were in the vehicle way too freaking long yesterday. By the way, the only Black Friday things that I got was I ordered all of my belt buckles that we need. Oh my, dang, this does not feel good. Oh, I love it though. I ordered all of my belt buckles for the year, which was 3 orders. It was an order of 22 buckles, and then an order of 6 buckles for another event, and then an order of 24 buckles. So that was some, I just wanted to say farewell to my money apparently, but it saved me so much money by doing it on Black Friday, but then they need extra time to do all those buckles, but I don't need them until June, July, and October. So I'm ahead, and then I'll be able to use those buckles for marketing. Oh, damn. You know what? They say that you hold trauma in your hips. I don't know what the hell that means, to hold trauma in your hips, but I know I hold some tightness in my hips, and this hurts like a mofo. But I know being in the vehicle yesterday and all that traveling, I'm just like, I think 2 days from now, I'm gonna feel way better after eating our food and sleeping in our own bed, and you know, not being in a vehicle so much. By the way, this right here is one of my new colors. Oh my gosh, my husband and I, we bought a crap ton of, because we started wearing all cotton or linen or wool, like natural products, trying to get rid of polyester in my life. And, oh my God, hopefully I ain't got a hole in my pants. Okay, I don't. Oh, that looks like I totally just felt myself up. I was just making sure I didn't have a hole in my crotch of my pants, and just because I got red underwear on, so that would be awkward. Anyways, we got all these new hoodies and t-shirts and long sleeves and stuff, and then my husband washed them all to be nice to me, but all of my stuff was light colored and all of his was dark colored. He ruined everything except for like 2 hoodies and 1 shirt. So like, I bought because I got rid of all my other hoodies and all my shirts that had polyester in them. And anyways, it's just funny. He felt so bad, but I'm like, it's okay. They were at cost. You know, if I would have paid full pop for those, I would have been upset. But not really. I mean, it's just a mistake, but it was funny. Anyways, if anybody wants to explain how we hold trauma in our hips, I would listen, because these things are not lying. Just like freaking Shakira, dude. My hips don't lie. Oh. But I am so pumped about next year. You know, I've got what I've got to get done next week is my, hopefully you can still see it, yeah. My 6th edition, the last edition for 2025 goes to print for my magazine, and I've got all of those articles in. Oh, God. I think I'm gonna see my belly, I don't care. Oh my God. But I'm excited about getting that 6th edition of that magazine in, because then that's a done deal. It's off my plate. Woo! My lower back. Son of a bitch. I love this pole, but I just use it for balancing. Right now, I've just got that leg popped out. Man, this is gonna make me feel so much freaking better all day long. And I just feel like I'm kind of doing some bullshit stretches, you know what I mean? I'm just stretching until I find something that's stiff, and it's everything. Man, we went out to eat yesterday in Clinton, Arkansas on our way home, and we stopped at Huddle House. Dude, that was good. I got a Philly cheesesteak omelet. So it had steak and onions and bell peppers in it, and then some, I think mozzarella cheese put into an omelet. And then I gave my husband the hash browns, and I had 1 slice of sourdough bread. See, and if I would have been at the house, whenever I eat bread, it's like Noah's Ark. I always eat at least 2, but ate 1, and it was good. Oh my neck, holy Toledo. We've decided we're gonna go to New Mexico for a little vacation in the summer of next year, and trying to get that all freaking planned out. I've never traveled with equine in the heat, so I'm gonna have to schedule layovers and look at weather patterns and look at like the average temperature and then figure out when the heck we're going to travel. It's only like, I think it's like a 15-hour drive where we're going. Okay, I hope to God you do this today. I put my hands on my hips like this, right? Like I'm an authoritative female. And then I'm looking down, but then I'm like I'm trying to separate my boobs and pulling my shoulders back. And then I put my chin down. Jeez, that feels so good in my upper back and my neck. And then from right here, I'm now picking up my big toe. So I'm kind of leaning a little bit. Anyways, I'm looking forward to going to New Mexico. My husband and I want to start doing more. He and I are built differently. Like I'm happy talking to y'all. I'm happy with this cup of coffee I've got waiting on me. In 10 seconds, I'm going to get to drink it. Like I'm happy with like this shirt, even though it's got stains on it, but I'm like, oh, I like this. You know, and my husband's only happy when we vacation and leave, which is crazy because I love our place, right? But so I'm trying to do smaller things and find deals on stuff. And then, so, all right, so now it is shaky time on, oh, I'm going to get my little, I have this poppet on the back. I used to hate these things because they're kind of cumbersome, but I put that on the back of my phone and then I hold it a lot better. So, all right, now I'm going to get on my vibration plate for 5 minutes and then I'm going to have to let y'all go because I got stuff to do. So, I will tell you on Monday, I have a meeting with a lady from Canada, and she specializes in social media influencers getting brand deals. And so I've been really trying to think out of the box about, because like if I'm gonna get brand deals, it's got to be with people and things that I 100% align up with, because I'm not going to promote something that's shit or something of a company that I don't believe in, you know? So I've been doing a lot of thinking about that, and I don't know, I've got that going on for me, and then, you know, deciding to let other people host my competition series. All right, I'm trying to balance everything. Look at this. I got coffee on that roller bar, and I'm on my vibration plate, and then I'm trying to get this damn thing turned on. And then I want to decrease the time. Okay, and now push play. Oh, shaky. Oh. I'm trying to talk to my husband about, you know, we do have a big workload next year, but I've gotten rid of the magazine will be done after next week. Okay, I'm going to throw down the remote. And so I will have more time. And then in the month of December, all of my children's books will be done. And then I will be, only thing remaining will be, it's 5 books. It's 6 books. Hold on. KTM has, the first book is about a horse that is wanting, he's trying to prove that one positive person can make a difference. The second book is JoJo, about a mule that says it doesn't matter what you look like to go for your goals. Okay, it's about finding your passion. Third book was Chalkboard. That book is about how going through a traumatic event or having a bad childhood doesn't define you. Then the next book is Coco. And Coco's book is about how not all scars are visible, okay? It's about being kind to people because you don't know, you know, like of a mile-long line, you only know like a few inches of somebody's life, right? Okay, so that's 4. All right, yes, that is 4, yeah. The 5th book is 2 books in one. It is half of the book is about Glamour, and Glamour's book is about it's just okay to be okay. It's about she's my smallest animal, and it's about not judging things on their size. And I chose to stand up for people that are small, which I think that's cool because people are going to think that I would just stand up for people being big. And then the second half of the 5th book is Peppercorn. And Peppercorn is a horse that it's about understanding anger displacement because she's got all sorts of stuff going wrong with her. And it's about how she refuses to let that stuff go to the next generation. So it's going to end with her baby, Domino. So if you've been following me, that's our little filly that's kind of a hellion. But I'm going to make her into, a working citizen. But Peppercorn's book is about how she's not going to further that pain that she had went through. And it's about how you can stop that. So I think a lot of, like my books, I want them into schools, like middle school, because I really think that it's like a pivotal time for kids. And I think that I can really change the world with those books. And by the way, spoiler alert, is Peppercorn actually probably going to get put down next week. And I don't know if I'm going to put that into the book. I think it would be, like kids deal with hard stuff all the time, but she, the cycle will be broken that she went through with her baby Domino. So I don't know. I think there could be good lessons, Kids' books been killing people and enslaving people all the time. Like freaking Cinderella was a slave. Bambi's mama died. Freaking whatever. Free Willy was captive. I don't know. There's all sorts of hard lessons in children's books. So, man. But anyways, if I can make back to my Country Tough Trail Versatility, if I can make that a I don't know if it's not for profit or non-profit. I think it's not for profit. Then I could take the income from that and pay for my books to be into schools for the ones that couldn't afford it, right? Or I could send them like a set and then for free that could be paid for by my own dang association if I make it. I don't know. I've got to talk to a lawyer and got to talk to our accountant, which that's never fun. Anyways, that's what the heck I got brewing. Today's article that I am finishing writing is 2,500 words. And it is about the importance of diversifying older farms and about how to be successful in agribusiness now. And so I'm going to talk about the importance of diversification and then give them examples of us that we actually became too diversified and now I'm kind of shrinking back. But then that's allowed me to soar. So it's going to be about following their heart and exploring things and then taking those lessons from your diversification to help save the family farms. So, somebody says, where can they get my books? BrandyVonHolton.com. So myname.com. And the first 3 are already done. But by the end of December, so KTM, JoJo, and Chalkboard are done. Freaking Coco's been done for a year, but I never did put it into the book format. That's going to be the first one to get put into the book format. And then the other 2 are half books. And they'll be into one, the Glamour one and the Peppercorn one. Then that means in this January that what I will be doing will be marketing to schools, to school counselors, to after school programs, to anything and everywhere where I can, that has to do with like middle school age children or older, right? Those are some pretty hard lessons. Not all of them are, but You know, I used to be a school teacher. I did that for 11 years. And it was the most rewarding, one of the most rewarding things I've ever done in my life. I love y'all's little squirrels. Freaking middle school kids. They are a lot, and I love them. And I love my high school kids, right? So, you know what? Somebody's like, I have so many gifts. I think that, I think I've got some major ADHD, and I never medicated it. I just kind of like went with it. And I think it's just the way that my brain works. And I love it. I love it not being filtered. I will tell you the older I get, the more I believe in myself. And, you know, like the whole Country Tough Trail versatility thing, I never wanted to have it out of my control, you know, and not be where we host it. But now I see that it's needed, and I believe in myself. So I decided that yesterday, and then I purchased 24 buckles in the same day, because whenever I decide something, then it's going to happen, because I don't allow it not to. So, and I'm on my health kick. You know, I took a very compromised photo of my father, and I'm not going to post it. I'm not going to post it. It's for me, but it was to remind me of, there's your genetics, girlfriend. I'm either going to go towards that being my life, or I can do something about it. And with the children's books, you know, I've ran into some walls, but I have addressed all of those. And I do believe that my books can change the lives of children. So I just need to go forward. I need to be like, all right, shut up all of these things that have happened and just go forward. So I don't know. I don't know if that's me being 46. I don't know if that's me, you know, just going through life and picking yourself back up. But I literally feel like my book series can help children and help. I feel like if you can help them pull themselves up out of things, then it ripples and you can change their whole life, right? And then I feel like the cowboy way of life is getting further and further away from our world. And I feel like what I have, that trail versatility, is going to pull from the largest sector of horse owners, which are trail riders, and help improve their horsemanship and help improve their horse's life and their life. And then it's going to help elongate the cowboy way of life, which is something that I believe in, right? You know, and that's the same thing with my holistic stuff. It's kind of like a connection to the past. And that's the same thing that it is with the trail versatility. So I feel like it all goes together. Things that I had to kill to make this happen was the magazine, because the magazine takes me 120 hours minimum per edition. And how many schools could I contact to get these books into children's hands if I spent 120 hours every 2 months doing that? You see what I'm saying? Or if I spent that 120 hours trying to find other hosts for Country Tough Trail Versatility, how many horses could I help? How many people could I keep them from getting hurt? You know, how much income could I make for someone that owns a facility that is struggling, right? So I don't know. I just okay, I love that magazine and I feel like it's impactful, and I think I might come back to it later on. I just know right now I'm 46. Maybe when I'm 56, maybe when I'm 66, come back to the magazine because I had a huge passion for it and I love writing. But I can't do it all. So even though I want to. All right, I got y'all a phone here. Y'all did my workout with me. I did my Chinese mobility stuff. I did my 10 minutes of goofy stretches. I feel wonderful. And I did time on my vibration plate. And now I've got to go finish up a 2,500 word. It's my first article to turn in to this magazine. So absolutely no AI, no chat GPT. The words that will be written down, I'm going to get rid of technology and they will be written by me, because if I wanted to read something that was written by AI, then I would just look it up myself. But there's a problem, I think, that with so much AI, people are going to lose the ability to write, and I'm not going to be one of those people. Y'all have a wonderful day. Thank you. I'm so sorry this was so long.